Hello, comrades, and welcome back to Revergrad. I don't know the name of our country. We haven't really named it, but I think Revergrad would be a wonderful name for a city, don't you guys? Well, Stalingrad was what? Man of Steel, and I guess Grad, is that like town or something? So Revergrad would, I assume, make sense. Certainly doesn't mean, Grad part doesn't mean Man of Steel, I know that much. And I know there's other ones like Leningrad, and so it must be something to do with city. So Revergrad, I think, would make linguistic sense. At least makes logical sense. Certainly not Russian anyway, which is fine. I like the Russian people I've met. I know a lot of Americans have attitudes towards Russians these days, but one thing what the governments do, it's another thing about people. And I think people are usually decent. In any event, we have our town here, and I've been thinking about some social planning. I have been taking different city blocks, and as our population grows a little bit, I've been moving them over. I think I mentioned that in another episode. So we're building another flat here. I kind of accidentally, and I'm wondering if I didn't do it with this flat, I may have gotten people in by paying for them, which is far from ideal given our money situation. I don't think it's overly cheap to move them in like that. So you can see these guys are already maxed out, and I'm waiting for this to build because I don't want to move. I want to do a little test here to see if we move the educated people to this house so they're a little closer to teaching the school. But if we don't move the educated people, does it move educated people when you just say, give me 10 new citizens, right? So does it count them together or separate when you say 10? Because I'd rather have better control over my university educated. And speaking of university educated, here is a technical university. So as far as I understand, any kind of medical or more advanced educational thing isn't really implemented as far as putting in like a medical college, or what's the other option? I don't know that going to the Communist Party school or whatever it is, I don't know if that gives us any benefit. But I also came in here, if you remember what the map looked like, and just sort of leveled out this whole area. It might do more depending on the overall shape of town, but I would like to make this, the center of our kingdom, and we're going to need a little more room to expand. Eventually, I would see us getting rid of a lot of this, right? This was like sort of our temporary starter. If we get an asphalt factory, chances are it's going to be either where the gravel is or where the bitumen is. Probably where the gravel is, just because it takes a lot more of that. Now, I don't know how much asphalt we're going to be moving all over the map, so that's sort of another question. But again, future problems. We've got enough current ones. Concrete plant. You know what I want to do too? I want to up the workers here now that I don't know how much difference it's going to make. It's not like we're using much, but at least maybe there's a better chance of more people going if there's more, quote, demand for them. So in any event, I could picture us moving this one way or the other to a more logical place, including the cement factory. Obviously, at some point, I'm sorry, that's the concrete factory. If we build a cement factory someplace, which will, these things are pretty gravel demanding, so we'll see. But in the meantime, I've built our technical university. Well, not built it, I've just laid out the spot for it. And what I would like to do as my main focus now, let's see how this goes without causing too many catastrophes. I would like to change this to a macadam road with sidewalks. And the problem with doing that is I don't really want to cut everybody off from either their workplaces and or their whatever, So in doing that, what I thought of was we could build a couple houses here that would then supply my macadam plant with people, and they would still be able to get to town and all. We'd give them a pathway. And then we could kind of build the road, up to a certain point. So we could build the road around here, build the houses. They would have a walking path to be able to get to their you know, to town and get their needs met. And they could have another walking path going down here. And then we could delete this little stretch here and then build the rest of the road out without disrupting that. And then once we have that, if you look, you know, we could get a walking path around here, and then I could make sure there's like a walking path down here so that while we're repaving this section of road, you know, people could still get around either side, you know, and then we'll try to do the best we can through here. It's, you know, I guess we'll have to make sure as best we can people can get into the stores and the, you know, the soccer stadium and all that stuff. How's that sound for a plan? So what that really entitles is after they get done building this house, you know, we would try to, which should be pretty shortly here, right? Yeah, they're almost done. They don't have everything they need, but they're close. Here comes the last of the panels right there. So good, we got plenty of workers on site. Yeah, we're doing a lot better with workers. I put another house down here. Let's see, 9 workers. This one was flashing not okay at one point. Yeah, it seems to be, you know, got some livestock. Was that the truck just coming back? Or I don't know, I saw something moving. No, but he seems to be doing his job. Did we get meat exports? And if so, how much money did we make? So what's this date? Oh, February 1st. So let's definitely do last month. Let's look at how we did. So we spent quite a bit of money compared to the last few months, but that's okay. I built, you know, another house or so. But we made 38 grand. So, yep, we made 4,000 from meat, 9,000 from alcohol, 15,000 from bricks and food. So if we go back and look, what did we spend our money on outside of, yeah, steel, cement, and those building kind of things? We spent a good 7 grand. Fuel quite a bit. Yeah, we spent probably about 9 grand on building stuff. So looking at the balance, yeah, we probably would have made about 20 grand, I think, if we didn't build anything during that period of time. So that's good. That's not great in some ways, but it's good. Now the biggest, I don't know if you noticed or if you could see that, but we have $8,000 in coal cost. So making those bricks, it will really be nice to get this going. So while I'm going to do some little road projects, I really am hoping that even through the road projects, you know, they're almost going to give us something to do while we're waiting. Because the other problem is I'm going to even slow down on my town building here. Let's all right, here's what I've been doing. So here's this building. Oh yep, see, I got workers in already. Gosh darn it. All right, well, you know what I'm going to do? Where is a building that's kind of low in this area near the school? 45, 50. Yeah, so now, because I bought those people in by accident, I gotta pay attention. Let's take a few people out of here. Well, is that the lowest? There's only 32,000 people living in here, so let's take 10 of those people and put them in there. I don't want my population to stagnate, and we'll have another 2 buildings over here hopefully shortly. So we're done building that building, and this will be a macadam road. So let's go get our construction peoples, and I'm going to have them start building this macadam road. This will be one of the first ones. So now the problem with building roads is that we're really not set up. So here's our two things. So I don't have my macadam people here, and I'm really not going to need this covered guy. So we're going to take the covered guy and send him over to this construction spot. And I need 2 spaces. I don't want to take away the excavator. Well, let's take away a mixer guy. We'll put him in the other construction thing. And that gives me room for the roller guy. Can I click on that? No, that would be kind of nice though. Oh, I don't think I clicked on it. Come on. There we go. so there goes the roller guy. Are we better off doing that? No. Okay, so the excavator stays in there just to help me dig in, and he'll be needed, and the bulldozer would be needed here to help level terrain. Not that we need both, since we're probably just working our way around here, and you know, then we're going to build those houses. So, all right, I think that's it. Yeah, we'll keep both of the buses in here. I mean, we don't really need this cement mixer and the crane, but they're not. And I already said the crane, but not really hurting anything. So these guys should take their long, slow path. Now, having said that, we could probably build a couple other things. So if people are trying to get out of these houses, you know, these people are going to need an attachment here, but these people are going to need one over here. Let's see, can we get another house in here? I don't know if it'll fit. I think that might be the reason there's not one. Guy there, so that everybody's plopped anyhow. And can I get a road from him? Okay, we're gonna go macadam roads here. No, watch out for clicking through. Do you see how I just made that dirt brown? If I had clicked on there, I should have thought of that. Yeah, they really need to fix that. Delete through the screen thing. So yeah, so we don't have get citizen drawings. Okay, I see a road going over there, so that was the problem. I was trying to force the road. A little bit more forward. Okay, there we go. Oh, it didn't put me a road. Oh, me, oh my. Gosh darn it. Let's leave it this way a little safer. I mean, I thought I saw the road as I clicked, but I must have been too finicky. Yeah, look, it's showing a road, but it's not putting one in. Sometimes the placement in this game. All right, let's do it this way. Let's see. Maybe back them up just a hair. This is kind of why I wanted to put them in first. Make sure we get this path where it'll work. I swear to you, it shows a road there, doesn't it? Yeah, look, it even shows the road there. Right, so let's try gravel. Turn too sharp. Let's try it again. This time we'll just. Maybe I'll give up. Can I turn that a little bit? There we go. All right, very good. So I don't think that's a macadam road, but that's okay too. So. It'll be a little bit goofy turned on that angle, but at least it makes it to the road. Alright, so now let's come in and we're going to get a footpath. It's too close. And I'm going to build the footpath, say, all the way down to here, and then we can pick. That's the firehouse, by the way, that we'll now, I'm not going to attach it to anything at this moment because I'm just going to, you know, have them build the whole thing, and then that way I'll attach it 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll probably just pay dollars for these little attachments. It's probably not worth the energy of doing that. So there we go. We're getting our first paved road in here, guys, and we don't even need a tool for it. So that's kind of a monumental thing, huh? The first macadam road to nowhere. So hopefully that's not costing us too much money. But eventually, you know, this will be the town. This will. By the way, I did put a shopping center here, and a hospital here. So, you know, as time goes on, we'll get those built up. All right, well, let me put a cut in the video, and when I get to the point that I'm getting tricky here, so we'll get, well, I guess we can plan out how we're going to do the road while you're here. So let's take a look at, by the way, I know I can attach right in that middle spot right there. All right, so I'm going to try to build this. Yeah, let's go from like there. Well, we don't really need to go too far, but let's go to the edge of that building anyway. We're going to divide it in half so we don't have to do that part. And then let's see, will this attach? Yes. All right, there we go. Again, these little parts get annoying. You know, see how when I attach things, like instead of just coming in here and doing that as one job, they do it as like 8. And then the last thing we'll do, let's see if we can jam 2 houses with more success than our last attempt. Can we get 3 in there? I think we might get 3 in there, boys. No, but that's fine. And I didn't get road. Let's make sure we can get a road attached. Okay, get a road attached. And get a road attached. Alright, there you go. Is this... No, that road's not done. We're now hand... Why can't I click on that project? Can I? This is this one. Huh. Well, are you still working on it, guys? Is that all you're gonna do? What kind of road did I pick? Doesn't really tell you. It would be nice if it told you. And does that look like the macadam? It just looks like it never got finished, huh? So, I mean, it should look nice and fancy with street lights and all. Pretty sure I picked this one. Oh, maybe I did. Did we just screw up these guys? Let's cancel that project so they don't... Alright, maybe I just picked all the wrong road. And it's just, that was just the regular... Yeah, well, let me... Now, see it... If I did it right, it won't let me... I did this wrong. Kind of finicky, isn't it? Did I already do that section? Yeah, I must be picking the wrong... I shouldn't attach these houses, should I? Alright, so I think we're now doing the right kind of road all the way over there. Alright, well, I think you guys get the idea, and I mean, this is just going to be grindage, you know, just watching. so I'll go back to you know, fast forward mode and get this road built around here. There you go. So now, are they pulling out the equipment? No, they're just going to throw men at it. Alright, well, I'll keep an eye on our population. How are we doing? Well, our uneducated is going up, but we're having a lot of babies, so that's, you know, our overall population. Let's go do this year. capped out at 1,200 for the last, well, it's only like a month and a half, but it did take a big steep jump up, so I think that's because we accidentally did we do the import thing on these? Yeah, I hope not. Yeah, see, that hits our money there. Yeah, I don't want to keep doing that. I think I had it unchecked, so. Alright, well, let's hope so. I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, I find that I am actually pretty excited about this. If you can't tell from my excited voice, this is it. Because I just get louder if I get excited. I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's just talk about the state of affairs. Working on your population does good things. We have a baby boom. You know, quite a few babies have been born. 400 as a matter of fact. So we need to kind of like slow things down even a little bit. So I think I'm done building houses for quite a while. This house, I don't even really have any productive age workers to put in it. But we got some that I moved over here. I moved in some immigrants. So, you know, just so that we had enough. Now, these people are also assigned, let's close the population. They're also assigned to go to the asphalt plant and the concrete plant. So those are the two that I'm worried about. More the asphalt plant, because if they don't get workers, this whole project grinds to a halt. So, and I want this to go as quickly as possible. So let me pause. The only other summary thing to say is our money, despite all of our construction, has been kind of slowly creeping up. Can we see a money chart? Yeah, down here. Oh no, this year. All right, so like if you look at the pluses, well, you can't really see much in there because we've got such big minuses. But trust me when I say, well, here's our. Yeah, I wish you could see the cash in the bank. Doesn't really anywhere show you. I understand this is a balance sheet, but why not put the bank balance on there, you know, or the different currency balances? I don't think they're on there. No. All right, well, anyway, money's generally been going up. You can see we're at 67,000, not as fast as if we weren't constructing. But let's come in here and go to the roads, and then what I'm going to do is demolish enough of this. Probably just have to demolish that whole thing. Let's see, is that enough? And we're going to put in, and it's not the straightest road, but it's kind of where I want it. Oh, no, don't build it with money. I was building some of those, what do you call it, roads? The paths with the money. So. All right, so let's get into here. And just assign this, and we'll start up regular time for now. And we should see these guys to work. I guess I could have talked about the economy while these guys were working, right? All right, there goes the buses rolling out. So right now we should be on just this. I checked this guy to see where can people go, and they can go everywhere, which is great. So that means nobody's in there, but I think everybody can go everywhere, though. Well, not everywhere, but you know, I don't know that these guys. Well, they could get to the. Well, they could get to the plants going down the regular old road. So, might have worried about nothing. But then again, I'm going to block. You know, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. So what I'm thinking of doing, I don't know what kind of detrimental effect it'll have. Is just destroying all the connections up to a certain point. You know, like this one's not even connected yet, but just destroy it. And I think I can get away with at least down to this walking path. Let's turn, you guys can see. See, if I go to this walking path, then, well, yeah, I probably need to get this walking going back again, huh? So these people could at least get to some things. I don't doubt that somebody's going to be without something for some period of time, but the good news is we'll work our way across here, and all of this stuff is relatively close to where we're building. So that should be good. So there goes our paver, or our gravel crew. And once this road gets done, that'll be a big, well, it won't be a big help, but I'll be able to attach this back across here, make sure this path and all that, you know, I might even just bring it straight up this way and then over here, and then somehow, you know, attach it up back to this one. Yeah, so I'm not sure. This is the problem with building in this mode and trying to do a YouTube video. Like, you know, we could put it on fast forward, and that'll help a little bit, but then I start feeling, well, not right at this moment, but at times I'm going to feel out of control, like, you know, especially when we're cutting people off from their stuff. So maybe we'll just do like the first section together and see how it goes when I destroy these things. Let's see, so we have our paver and all ready to go. Yep, there goes our asphalt guys. Yep, there goes our truck with the paver on it. The paver's there. Yep, the asphalt plant seems to be running. Excellent. Shouldn't take too many trucks. I need 2 trucks. 14 tons of asphalt. What do they carry, like 9 or 10? Yeah, it's a little annoying that every time the bus comes, the paver stops. But well, that wasn't much of a truckload, was it? Sometimes they don't. Okay, this guy has the rest. Good. So these roads are a bit expensive, but I think, you know, I don't know what happens if you just try to put up street lights and whatnot later, but I kind of just want to bite the bullet on this and, you know, get this square built. I think we could probably squeeze another house in right there. Probably with the way I tilted that road, might have been smart to bring it out to meet here. I might have been able to put another house in here. That's all right. I think we're going to have enough houses. These hold quite a few. And when it comes to your population, I noticed it's only counting the adults as your maximum. So, you know, if you're a burgeoning city, you actually have a lot more people in these houses than indicated in a sense. All right, there we go. We already got our roller out there. Good. Let's we don't need that prefab open anymore. There's our road construction. Alright, so now we're waiting on gravel and steel and electronic components. Again, everything's nice and close, so that should be good. Now, there's going to be another couple problems. One of the biggest problems is I do plan on, I mean, this is like the square there, but I do plan on paving like all the way down to here. And when I do this, it's going to cut off the bus. So I don't know what'll happen. Game will probably crash. But we'll pave down to here, I guess, and then just get this little spot real quick. Right, how are we doing? So now we're just waiting on the electronic components. Oh, production is stopped, of course. Okay. So let's open this up. What don't we need in here? We don't need that crane. Let's slow down time. I haven't been worried about time too much because every minute gets me actually closer to our bigger goal. Let's assign him over there. And our bigger goal is actually getting this coal mine going, and the ore processing, coal ore processing. And as this ticks up, it doesn't hurt my feelings if I take a little long to do things. You know, all of this is just sort of filling time until the thing can get. All right, so where are you, Mr.? You should have come out of here. Oh, you went the long way. Yeah, I think when I break this, hopefully they'll go the right way. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. So yeah, what are we going to do? We're going to demolish. Yeah, they should be able to go. Yeah, do I have a connection? No, I mean, you know, these guys should still be able to get to the bus stop. No, and so should these. Let's, oh, you know what? Yeah, as soon as this is done, we connect up these roads. Matter of fact, well, no, I don't want to plan it because it'll probably screw it up. Still waiting on components. He went the long way around China with those electrical components, didn't he? Yeah, there's a fine communist socialist state. You know, now they're investigating people and no freedom there, huh? That's the problem with socialism, actually. It's not that it's not a wonderful idea and concept. It's just that, you know, when it comes to the practicality, people aren't going to follow it. You know, like, people are free individuals. They're greedy, if nothing else, and they want more. If everyone doesn't follow, and then there's a whole bunch of other people that are just lazy and are just going to take advantage of those kind of systems. There we go. Now we're running. And that's just why it fails every single time it's ever tried. Sorry for you guys that think that's the best way to do it. It's not practical because humans are fallible, you know? Alright, there we go. So now we're working on it. Cut back our path there a little bit. Be ready to put another footpath in. I'm just going to place these with dollars when the time comes. Alright, what are we... Are we building, or are we just... Yeah, we just don't have that many people, I guess. Is that even moving? Not paused, am I? Yeah, it's plugging away. You know what it is? Is that we don't... Why don't we have a crane? Oh, because I took the crane out of there. What else can we... Yeah, I want 2 dumpers. I don't need concrete mixers there, do I? Let's take the crane, put him in here. Good. I'm glad we're doing this. It's called not as important road because it seems like, yeah. So we get rid of our concrete mixers because we don't need cement on any of these. I needed those for this. Right. Excavator's good. We don't need the bulldozer if we have the excavator, which is faster. We got the roller. We got the paver. And we got a road. Alright, so now let's come in here real quick just so that we don't cause any more problems. And I'm not going to auto build for dollars. I'll show you another kind of trick of sorts. So it's sitting in there in the white, right? And you can say, okay, over here, start construction, or you can just fund it from dollars. You didn't know you could do that. So it's that way you don't take the chance of selecting this like I do. Alright, so now I'm going to definitely pause it for this. If we demolish all of this and any of the connections, we want to do it up until this path. And I think, you know, these people should be able to get to the store and this stuff this way. These people should be able to get this way. Yeah, the problem is I could almost use a road down here, like, because if I don't leave this path, yeah, and then the worst one's going to be getting across here, you know, like right across this, because I'm sure somebody's not going to be able to make it into those stores. We have connections to the back of... I don't know how unhappy they're going to get without this. Let's just see, can we... Let's do that. Alright, so if they... Oops. If they can make it... Oh, okay. Sorry, it was just that it was paused. So if they can make it to the back here, then they can make it in, which they... You know, all of these people can come around this way. Yeah, you know what? I may... Now let's do up to here, and then we're just going to bite the bullet and do all the way across. Alright, here we go. I don't know what happens to the people we delete, but... well, it doesn't matter. We'll get it on the road thing. And we're going to just demolish. Makes me nervous. Yeah, I'm going to demolish this for now. There we go. So, let's come over here. Oh, touch it. You're not not going to let me attach. Some other infrastructure is in the way. Are you kidding me? Oh, that, I bet you it's that. You know what? I know what it is. We're going to go over to here and hope for the best. I bet you it's that little pathway. Yep, you know what? That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I was worried about that house being connected. Alright, there we go. Let's see how this goes. I know I could do this the easy way and pay for it with dollars, but what's the fun in that? The paying for it with dollars really kind of annoys me. It annoyed me. That's why I had one episode. It was like, you know, you mean I can build all this stuff and cause the guys to go out there? All right, so now let's, before we even unpause it, let's assign this construction, and hopefully the game doesn't crash. Apparently they know about the crash that I keep having. I'm going to leave this open over here. And how are these guys doing? I'm not able to visit a hospital. That's an ongoing problem. So they... Yeah, well, they seem to be diverting up there. I mean, they should be able to get to... I mean, these guys have a long walk, but no, they should be able to go down that path, and I think everybody should be okay, at least for long enough to build this road, you know? Let's put it on fast forward for the sake of YouTube, if nothing else. Crash, see that? Alright guys, but I crashed. That didn't surprise me overly much, so I just came right back in. Fortunately, we were pretty close with my last autosave, so now we'll try this again. Yeah, I'm not sure why it does that exactly, but let's just leave it in normal speed until this at least happens. It usually happens when the first... Let's close this office. Yes. It usually happens when the first dump truck gets there, so... Let's see if it happens again. I'd love to catch it on tape, but I think they already know about it. How could they not? I'm not the only person having this problem. And I did report it to the Steam forum, so you can see my post as Rever on there. And somebody said, well, they already knew. Okay, well, the one thing I saw said, crash when auto placing. And see, this time it doesn't crash. So there you go. You know, just... Look at that. We got a traffic jam of everybody wanting to help. Pedestrians in the way. Come on, pedestrians. Get out of the way. You get out of the way. I thought you already dropped him off. How are you still stuck in there? But at least he's working. Let's open up the construction project. And people seem to be using the back doors. There's not... Yeah. Still pretty happy. Workers without a job, can't get to a hospital, no kindergarten. Yeah, I think that's a problem, by the way. If we don't keep our kindergarten staff maxed out, which by the way, up here is at kindergarten 2. So I do plan on, when we build more, to have like another kindergarten for people. For that reason. Alright, well, so we didn't crash, so let's take our chances on fast forward here. We have all the gravel. Yep, we got all the gravel in place. Yeah, I think this is going well. Like I said, I think this will be this in some ways will be the worst part. Because I don't, well, see, they should be, if we don't go too far, they should be able to come here and go in there. If they're coming from this side, and then these people should be able to go, well, the worst is going to be these people having to go from here all the way around this way. Yeah, because I think, and then I don't think anybody's going to get to the cinema or the pub for a short period of time, and probably not even the kindergarten. Well, these people can get to the kindergarten, and other people that are desperate, no, they can't really get around there. Well, no, they will be able to get it through here. That's right. So we will have this path. Probably should put a path this way, shouldn't I? I don't think it would interfere with anything in the long run. Yeah, we'll build that manually when the time comes. Any of the longer paths, I'm willing to take my chance. We're not auto building on dollars. I bet you I can attach that at some point in the future. Build that road. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll just go like this. That's okay. That's okay. And this one, we'll just auto complete that with dollars. All right, there we go, our paving crew. So that'll give, just my thinking there is that gives people a chance that aren't cut off on this side to get to at least the kindergarten at that point, you know? And they can get to the cinema too. They just won't be able to get to the pub because the pub is only accessible at this point by, yeah, let's fix that too. Yeah, so let's, I mean, it's not a big dollar thing there. So at least some people will be able to get to the pub as long as they can get to this path here. Which, can we get them? Afraid of that, but, you know, can I do something? Can I fake it out, if nothing else? Let's try to put a little bit of a, too steep. Just at least, I mean, I don't mind spending a little tiny bit of extra money. Some other, this isn't, all right, we haven't built this yet, so let's, there we go. Yeah, they should be able to attach that. Here, just say, okay, do that with money. It's not worth the game crashing for that much. Alright, so when this gets done, we'll build this path, and that gives these people around access to, you know, and these people should be able to come out, and I mean, if they're willing to get to the bar, they should be able to with this little path here. Alright, well I think you guys are getting the idea. Let me come back as soon as I get this done, or if I'll be ready to hit the record button if I start having any unforeseen issue. And obviously a lot of people are going to the grocery store using this, where are they cutting around? We'll see. We might have to just bite the bullet and be a painful time. But I think I've done everything I can to make this as needlessly painful as possible. How's our project doing? There's our electronic components, so we should be back up and running in 1 second here. We're on fast forward mode, so look, and I love the fact that the buses are taking people here. That's a government job if I ever saw one, isn't it? Where are they going? Oh, they're going back to park up too. So if it's not enough of a waste of gas, they go back and park up, and then they come over here and drive people to there. Okay, let's slow down. All right, so now that we have this, I think I'm just going to plop these guys in with, you know, just so we don't crash in part. We're just going to plop these in with dollars. Me, and then the same thing with these driveways, just because. Alright, so crossing not allowed. What? By the way, the other benefit to doing it this way is that you can, there you go, Alright, so that made some strange light posts there, didn't it? I don't know if that'll update when the map reloads, but there we go. So this is back, you know, kind of how I pictured it. And then I'll go ahead and, you know, let's just fast forward, see how things are working. Again, a little bit of a bummer about those street poles, but, you know, whatever. Like I said, hopefully if I reload, it'll clear that out. Nice. So we'll, I'll see you guys when the square and this other section is done. Yep, there's the last of the asphalt. Oops, let's not hide it up. So there, right after that, we just have to get our steel and electronic components out here. But I got the rest of the town all paved, including this one. I would have to say things look like they're flowing better. I don't know that it seems that people are moving that much faster, or that I just forced me to create like an excellent set of paths everywhere. Like, people have options that they never had before. Speaking of which, I guess they should have an option to come here. I'm sure there's other things I've missed. Let's go here. Oh yeah, if we, I don't know if we repave, I don't know if that's an issue. I realize I probably didn't need to pave this one, but it was already assigned. So there you go. So maybe some people will come down that way. In addition to that, should they? What's going on with this? Do we have a? It seems like they should have an option to go to the bar that way, doesn't it? We're in footpath heaven now. I'm not going to spend this kind of money on this kind of thing for quite a while. So our excavator is still doing what? Oh, he's got 0.5 of asphalt left, really? In watching this, these asphalt trucks aren't right. I mean, I don't know. You know, I didn't really catch everything from start to finish, and I wasn't recording it, but, you know, this guy has asphalt. Like, one guy left with asphalt in him. I hope I'm not getting charged twice. It's like a government job, you know? Soviet inefficiency or something. So there you go. Finally, that asphalt, that's about a pain. So we should see our other truck coming. Now, in the meantime, the problem we have is this guy is ground to a halt, so we don't have any workers in our livestock farm, and everything else is going along pretty well. Like, you know, I think these guys can get out and around this way now. At one point it was blocking the food people and the meat people because part of their delivery was to the grocery store and the liquor store and all, so yeah, the distiller guy was backed up as well. So let's step it into fast forward here for a minute and let this guy roller it. And after that, we'll have our components come out. And then I'll just show you what I did to attach it. And I think that'll make a video. This will be the restructuring. Like I said, things are flowing better. And again, I'm not so much sure that it's because I've got better footpaths than anything else. They're certainly using them significantly more than they were before, which is great. I wanted the whole point of this was to make the town better, and there we go. So now we have a better town. And here comes our crane, dump truck, and we should have 2 more trucks. Yep. I thought that was him faking me out. Sometimes they come this way, but are they coming down the main road now? Nah, it looks like he's coming from a... Well, no, he probably should, because I think the drop-off for this job... Yeah, here they come. Da-da-da. You can see them down the street, even if you guys can't. Now, what I will say, too, is this was a bigger drain on the money, so I do hope that there's a payback for this. Okay, now we got steel. Go back to regular speed just for this part. Alright, so this is where I've been just spending the money rather than, I mean, to some degree, if the game didn't crash so much, I probably wouldn't do this, but I kind of want to, you know what I'm I'm going to do? Let's put the path in first, just because I do want that path going around the back. That's not a railway. I do want that path no matter what. So let's just build him with money. Give these guys the fancy roads to... see, I was afraid of that. Really? Alright, can I do... Let's do a little bulldozy without taking out too much. I want the road to the house more. This bus goes that way. Alright, so let's build those. Now, let's see. Can we do the footpath? Yes. Okay. Footpaths are more forgiving. Well, there you go. There's a... now, in the future, because we have at least a slight amount more money, I will be building more asphalt roads, not out into the country, but if we build for, like, say this, we'll probably put these roads up as we do it, count it in the cost. The reason I didn't do it initially is because we just didn't have any money. And I'm not so sure that I should have spent all that time, but I also, while we were doing all of that, I think we may have taken a slight hit. We were at like 100% happiness, not quite. But if you look, let's do this year. You know, if we look at our population, it's kind of steadied out, but we've kind of deliberately, and in part because even though I've got a lot of educated, I've got quite a few uneducated people. And if we look here, we're certain to be, I don't want to say maxing out the school, but we do at times when the teachers drop down. So we're just pumping kids through at this point. We've got 400 children. So on the other side of that, I'm debating, you know, it's going to be a bit of a wait in order to be able to get the coal mine and all. I'm going to definitely need the people. So I'm going to play it by ear to see what happens. Now, another thing I'm going to probably do, because I don't plan on doing any more construction for a little while at least, is if I open this guy up, I can come here and open up each of these open haul dumpers. I think I've told you about this probably in 3 videos, so my apologies. So now once they appear in here, what we can do, let's get in a place we can see everything, which isn't too hard. So once this dumper's in here, then I can say, okay, I want you to help with the bricks. Just take them right. By the way, this is where you get into goofiness. Keep an eye. Always check this. So we don't want you to unload. And you're not going to do anything with bricks, but I just, again, if I click on a truck, I like to see. Now these I'll leave on anything because then I know it doesn't matter which trucks, but then I know which ones were the ones that I moved over. That's particularly dumb, isn't it? Right. Let's close this one up. And then the only other thing I'd like to do is make sure I didn't screw it up. More than once I've had guys driving back and forth. So this is load. So this guy was right. Bricks. Unload anything. Or wait till you're loaded. And I don't think I did that on the other truck. I didn't really mean to hit anything there. Yeah, wait till you're loaded. Start. A little traffic jam up here, I have a feeling. Is this? Yeah, see, now I can tell which one it was. See, so maybe there is some intelligence to that. And again, as far as moving them back off of it, I don't think it matters which truck I steal from this Congo line. So there you go. So we're making plenty of bricks as we get more people. And, you know, again, like I said, this was in part to just see how much money we're making. Now let's see, are we making more? Last thing we do before we leave. This month is only the 13th. So last month we made 35 grand. And we spent quite a bit of that, I'm sure. Electronic clothes, coal, meat, can't count. Bitumen, there's 4,000. Call it 6,500 fuel, probably a little more fuel. Hard to, we'll round up someplace else. Electronic components, so now we're up to 10,800 to call it. Steel, 15,000. So yeah, we lost money, and we spent about 15,000. So we probably only would have made 10,000, which is a little bit disappointing. Which means my bet is something like the price of coal has gone up. Let's go click here. Coal. Let's do this year. Coal. Yeah, see, coal is going up a bit. Now, is the price of bricks going down? No. All right, so we're making money. We'll see how much when things calm down. I'm going to let time fast forward. Unless I decide to do some other industry besides get this coal mine going, which will be when I start getting way too many unemployed people. You know, right now I'll let things ride for a while. Might even try to shift more people to work in here. We don't have a ton of them, or something like that. Just sort of max out the people we have in the industries we have, and then when time comes, I can split them back out to there. Otherwise, I might just have to kind of take the loss in the extra people. But again, with us getting food and meat, not totally meat for them, but you know, food and alcohol, that'll cut down on the cost a bit. Unfortunately, we don't have clothes. But we may be able to put a slip shot business together if I can figure out one we can make money. Like, could we make our own clothing if we bought fabric and chemicals? You know, I know we might even be able to make fabric because I know we have the crops for it. Or clothing doesn't take chemicals. Clothing takes... Yeah, fabric takes crops, chemicals, and power. And then... It's funny they don't mention power on the clothing factory. You know, or at least not specific. I guess it takes a certain amount of power per cycle versus this one that just takes that power if it's running. So in any event... yeah, here we just need fabric, so here we need chemicals, basically. And how much are chemicals? So see, then what you'd have to do, I'm getting into a whole thing here, aren't I? Chemicals are, if I were to buy them, 2,700, we'll get the crops for, quote, free. So if we come back to here, chemicals are 2,700. And we only need a half a chemical, so that's like 1,300 per, you know, per piece of fabric or pieces of fabric. Whereas now that's, oh no, we only need a fraction. We need like a tenth. So see, it might be worth it to just get a clothing factory going, because if we take a look, in case you guys aren't aware, clothing. Where the heck is it? Clothes. $2,500 a piece. Now, we don't use a ton, but if we could export some clothes, that would be nice. The fabric, not so great, but if we can turn those into clothes, I think we could turn a profit. And it may be worth doing that. You know, we've got our expanded city here, and I wouldn't want to get into here because that's where, like, our coal side, but you know, maybe we come up here and, you know, I could put a few more houses or even a bus stop if we had to. You know, kind of put it on the outskirts of town to the... I consider that way the north because that's where the Soviet is. So, like, the Soviet would be to the east and this would be to the west. So, if this is to the north, so we'll say the east side of town, you know, put some... Well, this is our college. Maybe could we shove it up in here? How big are the various industries? I'm getting into a whole thing. Jeez. They're not that big, are they? And I could attach these two together, probably. We may do that in the next episode. It would be a little bit of a dry... Oh, we're getting a little further away from our import. But I could do an import thing. Can we do chemicals in here? No. Where would we import chemicals from? Oh, we would import it from our warehouse, and we could truck it if we didn't want to put it over on the other side of town. I'll think about it. All right, well, there you go. Well, hopefully we have a more efficient town. Nothing overly dramatic, but when you're grinding away on the hard mode, it ever is. So hopefully we'll see our money go up, and we'll maybe even calculate how much these would cost us. Because that might be a good way. I don't think they're going to be that much. I think we're building clothing next time, boys. All right, let's do it. See you next time. Bye.